November 16th, 2021. Halfcast 187, episode 187. Let's go. Happy Tuesday, you guys. Of course, I have a few things to share with you. An evening of reflection. Let's do it. A liberal Portland, Oregon activist has prompted a discussion after asking employers to give a day or two off to Black employees after the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, regardless of the jury's decision. So, what are you trying to say? This comes off as very smug. It comes off as insincere. Gregory McKelvey tweeted out, employers consider giving your Black employees a day or two off after the Rittenhouse verdict, regardless of the outcome. It's going to be hard for Black people to work, and it isn't fair to expect them to. That was the tweet. I don't like how it came across like you're not doing us any favors. Like, it's like saying you already know what the verdict is going to be. You already have like a strong inkling of which way the jury is going to lean. McCleavy's take on Black American sensitivity to the Rittenhouse trial caused fiery reaction on social media. I bet. With the Portland activist and political strategist, don't call that man a strategist, accused of elitism and unintentional satire. Yeah, it's mocking. It's almost mocking. Quote, white kid shoots 3 white men. Black people shouldn't be expected to work is one of the most racist things I've ever read. Daily Wire's Jeremy Boring tweeted, can't get much more insulting to Blacks than this. Fox News' Greg Gutfeld added, is this some sort of, they was just writing him on Twitter. And he really didn't delete it either. He said he stands by it. He says, why do people think I deleted this? I stand by it 100%. Me personally, is saying that's like a pacifier. That's like, we'll give them a day or two to shut them up. Regardless of what happens, they're going to be whining anyway. That's what it's giving me. It's giving me like, instead of giving us justice, like the rest of the country demands when these type of situations happen, you're just going to give us a day or two off to get over it. The verdict didn't even come down yet, and you're already trying to pat us on the back and soothe us like we're a bunch of babies. That's what's really boiling me right now. I'll take a day off. I'll take a day or two off just for GP. If you sign off on my employer paying me for those 2 days, because taking a day or two off isn't going to change what happens or what doesn't happen moving forward. Iowa governor improperly used $450,000 in COVID funds for salaries. Audit finds. What's improper about using COVID funds for the things that COVID funds were meant to be used for? How many times does an article start off with somebody use that money in paying their employees, or somebody using the money to pay employees in a business that they actually had, that wasn't just a shell operation, that just wasn't an operation in name only? How many times have we heard that people have taken the money and went and started a Maserati farm? State Rob Sand said a review of the state's payroll system shows the money was used to pay the office staff for Republican Governor Kim Reynolds. I like her. Hey, she paid the office staff with the money. She didn't go off and get a BBL. She didn't do anything. She didn't go get repairs on her own house and do all types of frivolous and extracurricular activities. She's fine by me. Des Moines, Iowa, a state audit report on government spending released Monday accused Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds of using nearly $450,000 in federal coronavirus relief funds to pay salaries for 21 staff members. Come on. for 3 months. This is some Robin Hood shit right there. Listen one more time. Using nearly $450,000 in federal coronavirus relief funds to pay salaries for 21 staff members for 3 months last year and concealing the spending by passing it through the State Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Okay, maybe the ends justify the means. Maybe she didn't on the front end. It looked like she was trying to hide stuff. Maybe on the front end, it wasn't all the way on the up and up. But what she was doing was she was paying her employees. She didn't lay anybody off. She didn't. She didn't take the money and use it for her own personal gains. State Auditor Rob Sand said a review of nobody likes auditors anyway. Let's say that right up front. No matter what you do, an auditor in any line of work that you do is a fucking is the enemy. State is the ops. State Auditor Rob Sand said a review of the state's payroll system shows the money was used to pay the Republican governor's office staff, but it's unclear why she had to take federal money to pay the salary. It's none of your business, Rob. Actually, it is. What is not clear is why these salaries were not included in the governor's budget set prior to the fiscal year and prior to the pandemic. He said in the audit report, based on this information, we conclude that the budget shortfall was not a result of the pandemic. So what? You've given people way more money for less. Cut the bullshit. Now you want to crack down on the one person that actually used the money for what it was for? Get the fuck out of here. Sands said he had asked Reynolds' office twice for documentation to support the spending and was told the governor's staff members during March, April, May, and June of 2020 were fully focused on responding to COVID-19 and protecting Iowa, but never provided proof of the expenditure of the COVID response. Reynolds earlier addressed the issue in September at a news conference after Laura Baleen, publisher of the liberal-leaning online blog Bleeding Heartland, geez, that sounds like a fun read, reported on the issue after seeking documents through Iowa's public records law. Reynolds said then that the federal coronavirus relief law allowed salaries to be paid for workers whose job requirements were significantly changed due to the coronavirus pandemic. Fair enough. Next up. Florida woman dies after unsuccessful suit to get ivermectin. Now, please, why are we still hearing stories about ivermectin? And for those of you who are new to this, it's used for farm animals. It's used for like horses and pigs to get rid of worms and other parasites in farm animals. But it does have human applications where it takes care, like if you have like rosacea or skin disease, it has nothing to do. It's not an antiviral. And I've said this way too many times for me to count by now. It's not an antiviral. So for whatever backwater grandma's homemade remedies that people think that it's gonna solve, it's gonna kill the coronavirus, or if it helps you, or it's more effective than a vaccine, that I have found nothing medically anywhere that this has cured or this has prevented coronavirus COVID-19 in any way. And if you find one article that proves me wrong, call me an idiot and drop a comment. A teacher in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, was hospitalized with COVID-19, died following her husband's unsuccessful attempts to force doctors to treat her with the anti-parasitic drug ivermectin, according to the reports from ABC News. And it sucks that she died. It really does. But as a doctor who knows that this is not, it has no founding clinically in his profession, that it's going to work, that it is possible that it might do more harm than good, being that there's no proof that it's treated, that it's killed the coronavirus in no way. It's hats off for the doctor, whoever the staff was, for sticking to their guns on that. Tamara Drock, once again, is messed up that she passed away. Tamara Drock, 47, spent 12 weeks at the Palm Beach Gardens Medical Center, as explained by her husband, Ryan Drock, per ABC News. According to the Palm Beach Post, she was not vaccinated against COVID-19. Ryan Drock sued the hospital in November, over its refusal to administer ivermectin to his wife. What case would you have if you tried to sue for not using a drug that wasn't proven, that was nobody knows if it was going to work or not? It could have did more harm than good. So what would your case be? uh Ryan Drock sued the hospital in October over its refusal to administer ivermectin to his wife. Misinformation about ivermectin's ability to treat coronavirus infections has circulated widely online in recent months. However, the Food Drug Administration, FDA, has stated that ivermectin has not been authorized or approved for use in preventing or treating COVID-19 in humans or animals, which means I'm not going to fucking get my medical license revoked listening to your silly ass. The agency also noted that ivermectin is approved for human use to treat infections caused by some parasitic worms and head lice and skin conditions like rosacea. It is not an antiviral medication. It's not meant to be used as that, and it's not that. Ryan Drock's lawsuit was rejected by Palm Beach County Circuit Judge James Nutt in October, according to ABC News reports, as Nutt said that permitting a judge's rule to override a doctor's recommendation could set a dangerous precedent. Thank you for nobody signing off on this bullshit, because nobody wants to say that they signed off on this. Nutt encouraged the Drock family to try to negotiate a deal on their own with the doctors at the hospital. You're on your own. The doctor at the hospital did eventually agree to administer ivermectin through the family attorney said it was, though the family attorney said it was too low of a dose. Well, how much are you supposed to give her? How much was you supposed to give her? I'm hoping they name a law after her so no one has to go through this. No, because it sets a precedent that whatever farm remedies, or some people call it holistic, it's not even holistic, because holistic has some basis in being proven to work on some scale. This is just like, is hearsay on this show, until I hear that it actually cured somebody. No, it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. Uh, he was also infected with COVID-19 but recovered. If you want to be a gung-ho cowboy and take a real risk, just take the fucking vaccine. Ambulance driver admits drinking beer, smoking pot, and taking Adderall before fatal crash. Police say it seems like he should have took those 1 or 2 days off. I'm sorry, is it too early? Ambulance driver admits drinking beer, smoking pot, taking Adderall before fatal crash. Police say that shit that you do. That shit that you do when you're in for the night. You don't do that and then look at your watch and be like, oh, now I gotta go to work. No, you just don't do shit like that. A Georgia ambulance driver admitted to smoking marijuana, taking Adderall, and drinking beer before a rollover crash last week in which an unrestrained patient died. The man, Kevin T. McCorvey, 34, was transporting Wilton Thomason Jr., 66, in Fairburn shortly before 7:30 p.m. Friday, according to a report from the Georgia State Patrol. McCorvey is accused of failing to maintain his lane and traveling off the shoulder, causing the ambulance to overturn in a ditch. The State Patrol said Thomason of nearby Atlanta was restrained and suffered fatal injuries. The report said McCorvey of Fairburn was charged with DUI, first-degree homicide, by vehicle, failure to maintain a lane, and possession of an open container. He was drinking and driving in the ambulance. Why didn't you just tell your buddy, like, oh, I'm too, yeah, they don't drive alone, do they? An incident report. Yeah, well, what the fuck was your buddy doing? Was he down in the other one in the back? An incident report from the Fairburn Police Department, which initially responded, said the State Patrol was called to the scene and conducted a field sobriety test, which McCorvey failed. He also admitted to smoking marijuana, taking Adderall, and drinking beer while driving the ambulance. Well, what the fuck were you doing? You couldn't wait till you get home? Fairburn police said that when an officer arrived, witnesses provided a ladder to try to climb through the ambulance's rear door to open it. The officer made contact with McCorvey and a second employee who worked in the ambulance who said that they were okay, but they had a dialysis patient with them. The Fairburn officer broke the glass of the ambulance's back door. McCorvey got out of the vehicle through the window, while the second ambulance worker was helped out by the officer. The report said the officer then saw McCorvey performing chest compressions on Thomason. According to the report, McCorvey stated that Thomason was having a cardiac arrest. Fairburn police said Thomason was pronounced dead by another first responder. McCorvey and the second ambulance worker tried to leave the scene in an Uber vehicle. Fairburn police said, "See, you're trying to get away. That's what it, yeah, you're fucked up. You're trying to get away because if you could get home and sleep it off the next day, it's going to be like the whole story. If they would have made it home, if they would have made it home and had a chance to shower, eat, good night's sleep, they come in sober and nobody will ever know." They were stopped, police said, when the officer spoke to McCorvey. An alcoholic odor emanated from his breath. That's one thing you can't do. You can't hide alcohol. You could chew some gum for marijuana, maybe, and I don't know what Adderall, but you can't hide alcohol. Fulton County Superior Court records said McCorvey appeared in court Monday. The record said the court found probable cause to detain the defendant. The court also determined that McCorvey was to be held without bond because of the nature and the charges and the danger to the community, the court record said, and his buddy should really be out of a job. He wasn't driving, so obviously his punishment is going to be a little bit less severe. But his buddy that probably knew he was toe up like that, driving behind the wheel in the first place, he should be up to lose his job. Woman pleads guilty to using bogus Rent-A-Hitman website to kill ex-husband. I had to look to make sure this wasn't a previous one or an update to a previous one. This is a new one. So people keep doing this. And as women keep using these sites, these people don't exist. I swear these people don't exist because anything, if you with a hitman, really, if it's that easy to find a website where you can just hire a hitman, like a fucking plumber, like an Angie's List for killers. These are people who are bored and they're playing like some Steven Seagal shit, like they're badasses. They just want to see how far they can rope you in and maybe get your money. Most likely, maybe get your money. Either that, or they're hitting it. They're employees of a law enforcement agency that's just waiting for people like you to take this fucking type of bait. A Michigan woman pleaded guilty last week to attempting to hire a hitman through a fake website to kill her ex-husband. According to multiple reports, there's no reconciling. That's the only way to reconcile is to I just want them done. Yeah. MLive.com reported that 52-year-old Wendy Lynn Wine filled out a service request form. A service request form? Really? Really? On a website called Rent-A-Hitman. This is not real. Get out of here. Rent-A-Hitman. Really? If you don't make your payments, they take the hit back or whatever. They fuck your credit up. In the spring of 2020, she hoped to meet with someone who could help address an issue with their ex-husband. But unbeknownst to Wine, the website was fake. Please, yo, how angry do you have to be at your spouse that the first website you come across that offers to kill him or her for you, that that you just take the bait immediately? Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want. The domain was created as a cybersecurity test site, police said, adding that the website owner was concerned Wayne was serious and could be attempted to kill them. And they laughed like, yo, wait, is she serious? What? You're fucking with me back there, right? There's somebody in the back typing this shit. No, it is real. An in-depth article about the fake website Fox 2 Detroit said that California resident Bob Ennis created the website in 2005 as a class project. He abandoned the site for several years before revisiting, only to find that people were actually filling out requests. So he started responding to inquiries. Yeah, if you're an asshole, of course, now you have something to do. You're going to play along. So he started responding to inquiries, asking people if they still needed the services and if they wanted to meet with a field operative Fox 2 Detroit reported if someone said yes, he'd pass their information along to law enforcement. Exactly. That's all they're doing. They're fucking with you, man. In 2020, he claimed to have prevented more than 140 murders. They should give him a detective badge. Yeah, they should. He said, yo, you've promoted like half the fucking police force right now with this fucking website. The fake website is still live and offers free consultations with over 17,985 US based field operatives. Rent-A-Hitman has seen it all and knows just how to precisely handle your delicate situation in a timely manner while maintaining 100% compliance with the HIPAA, Hitman Information Privacy and Protection Act of 1964. It's a joke, guaranteed, the site jokingly claimed. Wine reportedly used the pseudonym when filling out the form. However, she used her personal identifying information to complete the form, said MLive.com. An undercover police officer posed as a hitman and met with Wine on July 17th, said Complex. How do you keep a straight face doing this shit? Wine offered the undercover cop $5,000 for the hit, as well as any out-of-state expenses. Shortly after handing over the payment, she was arrested. On November 12th, Wine pleaded guilty to the charges of solicitation of murder and using a computer to commit a crime. NLive.com said, according to the outlet, her plea deal includes a cap of 108 months in prison on the minimum sentence. Holy shit. She'll be sentenced on January 13th, 2021 for a hit that didn't happen on a fake website that wasn't. Holy shit. This is like fucking To Catch a Predator for disgruntled for disgruntled spouses. If you like the show, check out the playlist. That being said, I'm going to wrap this up. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.